Are men and women physically different? Most of you are probably nodding your head yes right now because you're sane and you understand biology. However, not everybody understands that. So we have issues coming up like trans women going into MMA fights and beating the crap out of real women. A trans woman is a man who identifies as a woman. And we actually have people debating whether or not that's ethical. No, it's not ethical. Jake Shields, UFC fighter, put out a challenge saying he would take on 10 trans men. And I believe he had someone take him up on it. I'm not sure. I think they tweeted that they would and then took it back or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, it's a hot button issue. It shouldn't be. Men and women are different. Men are physically stronger, denser bones, quicker reaction times, faster. I mean, just everything. We are physically superior. But there are also a lot of things women can do that men can't do. There was a woman kickboxer who was basically the best female kickboxer in the world and maybe in history. She was like over 50-0. Her name was Lucia Rijker. And she actually ran out of competition, so she fought a man. She fought an average, run-of-the-mill, unknown man. And we're going to see what happened.
Can the best female fighter defeat male fighters?
Yeah, she's the female.
So I didn't even know about this fight. I didn't even know this took place. Let me know if you guys have ever heard of this, because I never did. It's pretty crazy. I mean, I think this took place like quite a while ago, and nobody talks about it.
A boxer who was really the best in the world. Nobody wanted to fight Lucia Rijker. So she was sparring with guys. I mean, she was probably the best female boxer ever. And nobody knows who the hell she is.
Women fighting men is a very popular topic in combat sports. Years ago, media reported that Ronda Rousey could beat Floyd Mayweather in a fight.
False. That would absolutely never happen. Ronda was so overhyped. I mean, that's just crazy.
Today, there are still a lot of speculations that Amanda Nunes could beat male champions.
No, definitely not. I love you, Amanda, but...
Well, this is literally the best female fighter of all time. And she actually fought a man. Nicknamed the Lady Tyson, Lucia Rijker is a woman who conquered the world of kickboxing and boxing.
I mean, look at her. She is a savage, no doubt about it. 54-0 against women. I mean, she's eating them alive. So, props. She's a specimen, no doubt about it. Very impressive.
During her reign across two sports, the media dubbed her as the most dangerous woman in the world. She hit so hard that in a sports science show, her punches exceeded the force of a male fighter by 200 pounds.
Do you guys see the difference there? She threw a hook, and he throws a jab. Big difference there. I wonder if they did that on purpose.
A seasoned trainer who got hit by her and another Olympic male boxer said he couldn't tell the difference. When tested against Houston Alexander, a light heavyweight MMA fighter, Lucia hit just as hard as him. Yes, this makes her one of the hardest hitting women of all time. Widely regarded as the greatest female boxer of all time, Lucia was undefeated in all her 54 fights with women. In kickboxing, she had 37 fights and 4 world titles. Most of her fights were won by knockout. In boxing, she had 17 fights with 2 world titles. 14 of her fights were by knockout. But what happened when she fought against a man? Fight fans, welcome back to another episode of Striking Breakdowns. In this episode, we explore how the best female fighter was defeated by a male fighter. Wow. This special event took place when Lucia Rijker already had 4 world titles in kickboxing. Training with the legendary Vos Gym from the Netherlands, her corner included the great Ernesto Hoost. By the time of this fight, Lucia ran out of kickboxing opponents and her trainer suggested it could be a good idea to fight a man.
Why would you suggest that? Come on.
Opponent was Somchai JD, an amateur fighter in Australia. He had a total of 14 fights and was a local amateur champion.
So the guy she fought wasn't even a pro, he was an amateur and he only had 14 fights. She had 54 pro fights.
The first round was closely contested, but Somchai landed the cleaner power shots. He even knocked Lucia's head back with a big cross.
Ooh.
The Thai also swept Lucia multiple times, once with a teep, another with a roundhouse,
Yikes.
and then once inside the clinch. Somchai didn't look like he had better technique, but he was clearly faster and more powerful.
So that right there, technique is important, obviously, but there is a point at which, no matter how good your technique is, if your opponent is stronger and faster, that can beat technique, and that's what you see right here, which is why men and women shouldn't fight each other.
Lucia was also able to sweep Somchai once, and for most of the round, she was the one pressing forward with aggression. Overall, Somchai covered the long range much more effectively than Lucia. This was important for him to be a sniper, allowing him to land clean shots without a response.
Says he covered the long range much more effectively, but it really looks like she might be taller and might even have the reach advantage though. So that's interesting.
It's obvious here that it wasn't the technique that made the difference, it was the power and speed. In the second round, it was clear that Lucia wanted to overwhelm her opponent and tried to steamroll him. She was able to put Somchai onto the ropes and start swinging. After landing several big punches, she had her opponent cornered. But that's when he started swinging back, landing a left and right hook with an uppercut that sealed the knockout.
Jeez.
The fight was immediately called off,
Good
and the
night.
trainer came in to cradle Lucia. It was a courageous showing by the best female fighter of all time.
And then the clip just goes on to talk about what she did in the rest of her career. She basically became a very successful coach. She had a successful boxing career, successful kickboxing career. I mean, she was a savage, is a savage. She's still alive and should be celebrated. And she made history. And look, she was brave enough to fight a man. But guys, come on. This is all you need to see. All right, ladies, please don't fight men. This guy was an amateur. He was a nobody. She was the best in the world. She was a professional. And, I mean, he knocked her out in the second round. So when you hear all this stuff about Ronda Rousey fighting Floyd Mayweather or trans women being able to fight biological women like Fallon Fox, this stuff is preposterous. It goes against everything we know biologically. It goes against everything we've done traditionally for centuries, for millennia. Men are physically stronger than women, and that's okay. So can we please stop with this stuff? You saw what happened right there. Again, I didn't even know about this fight. I didn't even know that this happened. Nobody talks about it in the current debate over men fighting women and trans women being able to fight biological women and vice versa. So very interesting. I mean, I think there's a reason why it doesn't get brought up, because he very clearly starched her. If you disagree, if you think men and women are physically no different from one another, I want to hear from you. Comment down below. I'm always open to hearing other arguments, but my training, doing undergrad and grad school in the biological sciences, everything I know about the biological differences between men and women, I'm not buying it. And once again, that's okay. We should celebrate our differences because that's what makes us great together. My wife and I complement one another. Women civilize men. We are animals and women tame us. Women are amazing, but you can think women are amazing without thinking that a woman can go stand in the ring and trade blows with a man. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and until next time, I love you guys. Keep your minds free.